Live on a Wednesday. Welcome inside the vault for a Ravens lunch hour live stream. It is the 10th of September. I am Bobby Trossett. This is Sarah Ellison. And this new live stream is brought to you by our newest brand sponsor. That is the folks in Hunt Valley, Maryland, Wellness Plus Care. We'll have more on them in just a bit. And in the meantime, you can learn more if you'd like to by clicking on the link that we have included in a couple different places at the top of the show notes. There's also one for you handy as a pinned comment in the live chat. And you can also see the scrolling information on our ticker today. First of all, we'll have a featured guest, Sarah, coming up at 12:45. It is going to be what we want to do, which is a weekly film breakdown now that we're in season. And we're going to be rotating guests, analysts, creators in this local Baltimore space. And Jason Smith, friend of the show from Huddle It Up Films, kind enough to have a whole montage of clip breakdowns from Sunday's game. And he's going to be looking at a couple of 2022 first-round picks and how they fared. One on the offensive side of the ball and one on the defense. Of course, that's Tyler Linderbomb and Kyle Hamilton, respectively. But in terms of order-wise, right off the bat here, Sarah, the elephant in the room is that the Browns and Cleveland media, specifically radio hosts, several of them from 92.3 The Fan, are not happy with the Ravens' organizational decision to celebrate their 30th anniversary since the franchise's inception coming up on Sunday against these Cleveland Browns. We know some of the history there. We'll catch you up to speed just in case you're a new Ravens fan or maybe you're young and you need a little bit of a history lesson. We'll give you that and why this is turned into somewhat of a blown-up story, Sarah, in the last 24 hours or so. After that, Bills corner Christian Benford took a strange shot at DeAndre Hopkins after being schooled by him on what became an unbelievable touchdown grab from DeAndre on Sunday night in Buffalo. We've got a ton of other content to get to as well, but I think that's a good starting point. Great to see you, partner.
It's good to see you also. This is going to be fun. I haven't heard these meltdowns coming from Cleveland. I mean, I know they're upset, but I haven't heard the clips that you're about to play. But before we get into that, this is going to be, there's so many storylines for this game because, yeah, there's the 30th anniversary, sure, but also it's Joe Flacco coming back to Baltimore for that 30th anniversary. And right now, the Ravens are the biggest favorite in week 2 across the entire NFL as a negative 10.5. That's according to ESPN Bet. I have it flashed up here from Jamison Hensley. Bobby, it's hard to be perfect, but Lamar Jackson is a perfect 16-0 straight up as a double-digit favorite in the regular season. We all have some double-digit lead PTSD right now. So hopefully he can continue this streak of being perfect when he's got a double-digit favorite. He's also 10-5-1 against the spread when favored by 10 or more points. So Lamar has that perfect record. Joe Flacco is coming back, and the Ravens have made it very clear that at their home opener, just to put it out there, it's not like they make the schedule, but wouldn't you probably celebrate your anniversary at a home opener? So just want to put that out there. But listen, it's going to be all the legends. It's going to be all the stars. Of course, Ray Lewis is going to be in the house with some other legends. Speaking of legends, the legend of the game will be Ozzie Newsome, which you can't make this up. Had his career in Cleveland as a player, becomes a Hall of Famer. Also started as one of the executives over there, but he came over here to Baltimore during the move along with a lot of executives. And so the guy that Cleveland wished was their GM for all these decades, he's going to be honored as a Ravens legend of the game. You've got new shops opening up. You're going to have a flyover. You're going to have introductions of the defense. You're going to have the starting defense will be introduced in the 1975 Baltimore Colts will be recognized. I mean, it's just going to go on and on and on. It's going to be a party. And the Browns and those media over there do not sound very happy.
No, I don't think they're going to be party goers, if you will, for this one. If anything, they are raining on the parade, Sarah, several days prior to all of this coming to fruition. And again, you can learn more with Ravens Productions, BaltimoreRavens.com, should you want to participate this weekend. I'm sure, not only because it's the first home game, Sarah, not only because it's Joe Flacco, but again, the history that's tied into this, it is going to be rocking in the Baltimore area. And for those of you maybe on the newer side of this fandom, remember, there's a rivalry that exists here and deep-seated emotion from those that are, I don't know, I think all these hosts, Sarah, are probably in their 40s, 50s, or 60s or so. So they lived this fandom standpoint. The late, great Art Modell, former Ravens owner, right, made a decision to relocate the Cleveland Browns to Baltimore. And that hurt the folks of Cleveland, Ohio. And you're about to hear that hurt, that wear and tear, that lack of forgiveness, if you will. And let's start with, I think, what is the most rational or maybe reasonable side of things. There's heavy emotion, believe me, there will be, in not only this clip, but all three that I share. But Ken Carman, I thought, and his co-host on 92.3 The Fan, at least had a discussion in terms of looking at why the Ravens may have made this decision and considering the idea of the home opener and how, hey, at the end of the day, from an NFL scheduling standpoint, in a lot of ways, this was out of the Ravens' control, being that they wanted to capture and capitalize on the excitement, momentum, and attendance that typically comes with the first game of the season at home. Here is Ken Carman and his co-host, courtesy of 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland.
Get into the nitty gritty of what they're doing. Like, my theory was, I think this is a giant bleep you to the people who have done their best. I think this is really a bleep you to the fans of Cleveland from the organization, not the fans of the Ravens, from the organization, because I think that they know that Canton, Ohio is obviously 60 miles away, 50-something miles away from Cleveland. And they have wanted to get Art Modell in the Hall of Fame when he was alive, then posthumously. And they also know that it's probably never going to happen because the voters don't want it to happen, because they also think that they know that any chance that they get that they see him on the board, people in Northeast Ohio, which are predominantly Browns fans, are going to boo their faces off. And the NFL doesn't want that look, and the Hall of Fame doesn't want that look because of the history. And rightfully so. So I think it's very, very, very personal from the organization of the Ravens to Browns fans as a giant FU to Browns fans.
Yeah, so they're saying that this had been in the works well before the schedule came out. They even had noted to season ticket holders that week one, there's actual, I don't know, online, they posted the documents. They said it's going to be week one, regardless of who they play. And that was before the schedule. So people are saying the NFL is who you should go after here. Because if the NFL paired these teams up against each other, because we know what a logistical nightmare the schedule making is in the NFL, you've got to figure out all the dates and then worry about the teams coming back from overseas and all of that. Like, if that is true, that they were already telling season ticket holders like they were going to have this event regardless before the schedule come out, and then the schedule comes out and you see, boom, it's the Browns and the Ravens, should you direct your anger at the NFL?
So you're telling me that the Ravens didn't know when the schedule was coming out? At all? The schedule may come out in May, okay?
Yeah.
I don't believe that they didn't have any idea. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it.
I'm laughing for a number of reasons, Sarah, but clearly what I meant by the reasonable take, right? It's Ken's on the right, Anthony Lima, his co-host there, is on the left, and Anthony tries to at least float out another viewpoint, right? and Ken's face as he's like, he was patient and let him finish, right? But his body language as Anthony's giving his counterpoint is just like so down in the dumps, like so pissed off,
If eyes could shoot, it was like lasers were coming out of his eyes, like it was just like, I refuse to believe it. Like, how do you reason with somebody like that? Like, I refuse to believe it. This doesn't make any sense. He seemed to be all over the place. You've probably listened to it more than me. That was the first time I've heard it, but it doesn't make it, his logic doesn't make sense to me. He's like, this is a giant bleep you from the organization to the fans, but then talks about how it's like he's saying that it's personal because they want Art Modell into Canton, which sure they do. But how is it that getting back at the fans will get Art Modell into the Hall of Fame? The fans don't vote it. It's the media. That's the media that have been given those privileges, just like some media get privileges to vote for MVP. So how is this going to be It just makes no sense how this is like their like schemed up plan to get Art Modell into Canton, but yet it's an FU or a bleep you to the fans. You're in your feelings. You're mad that Art Modell brought the Ravens to Baltimore. We get it. Baltimore didn't like that that happened here and they went to the Colts. And there's an older generation that's still ticked off in both fan bases. And Bobby, I still feel it. I live in Ohio. I talk to other Ohio fans. It's the first thing they bring up because it's rooted in jealousy. It's rooted in envy. They see that the Ravens went on with Ozzie Newsome and they had 2 Super Bowl wins in a short amount of time. They've just been a mess in Cleveland. And so all of this, like the Ravens fan base can get it over it a little bit quicker because the Ravens have had success and they don't need to just watch the Colts. But the Browns are the Browns. Like they are literally an adjective or a verb now. The Browns are going to brown. That's what they have to live in. And they sit here and watch in jealousy. And when you do that, you can't rebuild. And then you become like this, where it's just like I don't even understand the logic that you're getting at how this is some schemed up plan to get Art Modell into the Hall of Fame.
Let's be clear too. Some of those writers that have a say in terms of media members that have the privilege of voting. In this case, what would be a contributor into the Canton Pro Football Hall of Fame in Art Modell's case, They have made it their life goal to ensure that he doesn't one day again. How do you say, is it posthumously or posthumously?
He said posthumously.
Yeah, he said it nicely, and I was kind of like, geez, I think I've been saying that wrong over the years. Anyway, you know what I mean. Art has since passed, and so he would obviously not be able to accept that in person. But I think from a legacy standpoint, there are a lot of folks in the Browns media over the years, in Cleveland media, I should say, that have made it a mission to ensure that Art Modell's name does not get into the Canton Pro Football Hall of Fame.
And to your point, if Ken was correct that the Ravens were trying to say bleep you, and it's the media who are mad, don't you think like those media members who are holding on to this grudge and not letting Art Modell in, again, how does this help their scheme to get Art Modell in? Like just to like tick off people like Ken more? Like, again, the logic isn't there because he's speaking from his feelings.
The logic that I guess I'm trying to like understand all of this with is this is deep-seated stuff for a fan base that lost its team for a certain generation, all of whom are within these 3. I guess there's more than 3, but let's get to Andy Baskin, for example. Okay. I would have to think he's probably somewhere in his 50s or 60s. This is deep-seated stuff for him. Listen to Andy Baskin, again, on the same network, 92.3 The Fan, reacting to the Ravens' decision that's been in the works for a long time to celebrate their 30th anniversary coming up on Sunday in their home opener against the Cleveland Browns.
Kind of horse, you know what, that they're doing this against the Browns. I understand that they probably wanted to do it in their season opener, and I get that. But, I mean, did you really have to pick the Cleveland game to do this? You want to talk about just, like, poking the bear on something. And the problem I have with the whole thing is that I care, people my age care, anyone that rooted for the Browns more than 30 years ago cares. I just think it's a real move on the Ravens to do this against the Browns. I just think tacky is, like, the word I'm trying to use. I can't be alone in the way I feel about the fact that what a bunch of clowns the Ravens are. Yes, good organization. Yes, we love Ozzie, but for what he did in Cleveland. But I mean, did they really have to pick this game to celebrate their 30th season? That's a giant middle finger to all of you. I'm sorry, Jeff. It bothers me. That's just classless. You couldn't have picked any other game. No, let's do the game against Cleveland.
No, you don't pick any other game because it's the home opener, which he himself, Sarah, at the beginning of the clip, acknowledges. I just like, dude.
Keep going.
You know what? I hate to say this. Get over yourself. Get over your fandom and your heartbreak from years ago. Get over it. You just acknowledged in the beginning of this clip why the Ravens may very well have chosen the home opener. And it just so happened, go take it up with the NFL, that Cleveland ended up being week 2 in the home opener. Get over yourself.
I mean, and who wouldn't feel like it's a giant middle finger to them? So let's go down this route. That who's talking here? What's his name?
Andy Baskin from 92.3 The Fan.
Okay, Andy Baskin. Let's go down this route. Okay, so what? Who do you want? Which week did you want them to choose, Andy? So do you want them to do it Monday night against the Detroit Lions? And then so the Lions are like, why'd you choose us? Like, it's a big middle, like, are we your homecoming game? Are they supposed to do it like, they already have one against the Steelers, another special night. Like, so how would it not feel like more of a middle finger if they waited till after the schedule came out and they're like, hey, we want to pick a team who we really, really, really think we can beat, like a homecoming game. You know what I mean? And so how would if it wasn't at the home opener, then you actually would have an argument to say, ooh, this was a middle finger to my team. Like, it makes no sense. So they should move away from the home opener to protect your feelings. Like the 30th anniversary, the 30th season, you're saying, nope, don't do it at your home opener. That's what you're asking. And because they didn't, you think it's a middle finger? It's too emotional. It's too emotional.
I think that's what it comes down to. And we're not downplaying at all the significance, right? Baltimore knows about the significance, Sarah, of losing a team in heartbreaking fashion. We're not downplaying that. Now, we are going back over 20 years. It's been 30 years.
Right.
It's been 30 years. And it seems as if somebody, and again, I'm sure there are I'm sure they speak for others in that town as well. I'm not saying that they aren't. But clearly, these are emotions that they have not yet come to terms with. Same thing can be said for Tony Rizzo, ESPN Cleveland.
Ravens are celebrating their 30th anniversary of stealing our team. That's exactly what it is. I'm over it. Chris, I'm not over it. I'm Sicilian. I'm from Cleveland, and I'm a Taurus. I don't forget. Get it?
Oh, I get it.
Get it? They stole our team, and they're going to celebrate the 30th anniversary of stealing someone else's team. I think it's classless. I understand. I don't know. I guess the Ravens, they're doing it for the Baltimore fans who got screwed too. But make no mistake about it, they're going to have a grandiose celebration, and the Browns are the opponent. Now, Grossi has said on Daily Gross yesterday, oh, it's a coincidence because it's their first home game. Tony, please, don't give me that Come on, man.
All right, that was actually pretty freaking funny, all right? Sarah, first of all, Tony Grossi, friend of the show. I don't think we can have him on this week because of the overlap with his
He's
live show
at the same time, yeah.
ESPN Cleveland.
Dude, the piped in booze.
That was pretty funny right there, I got to tell you. But at the same time, the point still stands. There is high emotions are running very, very high, and tempers have flared in the last 24 hours.
And then, like,
released.
like each clip keeps getting funnier to me. Like that one, the claim was that they stole their team, as if like somebody in Baltimore like came in the night and was like, hey, I'm taking your team. No. Art Modell was asking your city to help in a partnership for stadium. I can't remember what it was at the time. I don't even know that I was born, or if I don't remember when it all went down. But I definitely wasn't conscious of it all. I wasn't around covering the team back then. But it's like, yeah, like Baltimore had some sort of plan, like the mayor and governor or whoever like came in and like stole them away. No, Art Modell was asking for the city of Cleveland to help out with either stadium renovations or a new stadium. I don't know the details. And Cleveland didn't want to do it. So he went to a city that would. And still to this day, Baltimore and the Ravens work together and make sure that they, have renovations and all sorts of stuff at M&T Bank Stadium. And so this whole thing as if like it was stolen. No, your guys willingly left your city and sought out a better situation for them that you couldn't give them. So I get it. The Browns are the Browns. The Ravens are the Ravens. You're a little upset. And here's the thing. They know the reasoning behind it. They don't want to believe it. That's fine. And it is funny to see them and their emotions like that. As players and coaches, you want to be like the Michael Jordan where you look for things to be personal. So of course the players and the coaches and all of the organizations should tell themselves that this is what they're doing, that this is what the Ravens are doing. They're clowns, quote unquote. They're classless, quote unquote. They're giving us the middle finger. Like that is the story they're going to be telling themselves. And that's the way you give yourself just a little bit extra motivation. Though Joe Flacco was asked about this today, and his answer, Bobby, you tell me, is this the most Joe Flacco answer ever? This is from Zach Jackson, who writes for the Akron. I don't remember the whole name of the newspaper, but Joe asks about the 30th anniversary celebration. Joe says, listen, they do these things, and you can take it however you want. That's it. Listen, they do these things. Joe, I love Joe. Joe is like unintentionally funny very often. That was hilarious to me when I saw that tweet come through.
Well, first of all, Zach Jackson, he writes for the Athletic. So at Akron Jackson there, I just pulled up his profile to refresh myself. But yeah, I think what makes this even more entertaining, Sarah, than it's already become is the fact that Joe finds himself in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
Like somebody that wants absolutely nothing to do with it is the starting quarterback as the opponent coming back to Baltimore. It'll be the second time they've faced each other, of course. The first time at the bank, first time around, of course, was in the Meadowlands against the Jets. This is just makes it that much more funny.
So at this point, because they're taking it this way, they're taking it as if the Ravens are like rubbing their face in it. At this point, like if they're going to embrace it, then why don't the Ravens just embrace it? Fine, the players, yeah, we're going to rub your face in it. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to listen to reason. You're not going to listen to logic. You want to believe what you want to believe. Fine, we're going to try to destroy you and be those 10.5-point favorites. And might as well just embrace it at this point because they're going to believe what they want to believe, just like Joe says here.
Sarah, I really did not see this coming. I thought that a Flacco return to Baltimore would dominate the week leading up. I thought that maybe, just the fact that the Ravens are still maybe, I don't know, PTSD from last year. Some folks maybe want to think that a hangover game could be in anticipating the potential of that, just like last year against the Raiders. Maybe that would spark some conversation. No, it's Cleveland media that's giving us all the content that we need days before week 2 against these Browns. It's a 1:00 kickoff inside the bank. And Sarah, you brought this one in from Grant Delpit's Instagram from last year. And you already know that some within the fan base are bringing this one back up. Derrick Henry's comment. I'll let you take this one on a little motivation going into this weekend.
It's just another angle, right? We've got the 30th season anniversary angle. We have the Joe Flacco angle, and now we've got Grant posting this photo of him hitting Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry kind of flying backwards. So Derrick replies to this and says, bet. So now Derrick's got not only motivation to redeem himself from his fumble last week, which I believe he will, but now he's going to be looking. He used to be number 9. I think he's number 22 now, or maybe it's vice versa. But he will be looking for Grant Delpit and trying to repay this favor. And I would like to see if that does happen, that photo is going to have to be posted from the King's Instagram account himself.
I think so. I think so. Is Grant Delpit still with the Browns?
Yes, he is.
Okay. He is still with Cleveland. Yes, he's a safety for them. So,
yeah. I don't know why safeties are picking fights with 250-pound running backs nicknamed the King.
Oof. Okay. Go ask Cole Bishop about that after after that stiff arm on Sunday night. But maybe, just maybe, Sarah, this is just what the Ravens need. A little bit of noise out there on what could be a dud of a week, right? Coming off a short one at that with Buffalo travel. You get back in at what, 2, 3 a.m., whatever it is. There's a lot of noise out there. And if they're looking for a little bit of extra motivation or some chalkboard material, bulletin board material, that is, maybe this is exactly that.
Yeah, and all this is good because remember last year when they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, and then it was like the Raiders, they imploded too the next week. So like, let's just get this. Let's get like, make sure that there's no, what's the word? There's just like no downtime. There's nothing to like feel down about, to feel upset about, all that kind of stuff. Like all the legends are going to be in the house. It's a great way to pick them up after that Bills game and just reset and try to move forward for the rest of the season.
Plus, they're all old enough to remember, especially those that were on this team last year, what Cleveland did in one of those games with Jameis Winston under center and the way that game should have been wrapped up. I'm sure Kyle Hamilton still thinks about that, dropping what I'm sure he would catch, Sarah, as a would-be interception 99 times out of 100, but he didn't. Browns take care of business, split the regular season series last year against the Ravens. Okay, before we get to Super Chats, Jason Smith will be coming on in about 5 minutes from right now from Huddle It Up Films. He's going to have a breakdown on tap for us, Sarah. He'll look at Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbomb's play, which means some of the discussion around Christian Benford and DeAndre Hopkins we should probably push till after Jason's breakdown. Good green light from you on that one?
Yep.
All right. And before we bring on Jason, Wellness Plus Care is our newest sponsor and brand partnership here inside the Vault. And we are thrilled to have Hunt Valley's own with us. The owner and medical director of Wellness Plus Care is Brenda Boggs. And I've had a chance to get to know Brenda and Ivy and their great team, again, located in Hunt Valley for those of you that are in the Baltimore area. So Wellness Plus Care is a full-service clinic focused on hormone therapy, medical weight loss, skin rejuvenation, IV therapy, peptide therapy, and genetic testing. They got specific care plans that are personalized. Each patient works directly with the same provider, so you're not just a number in their system, and they have a pretty simple mission. You help men and women restore energy, confidence, and long-term vitality. They got a great website that's easy to navigate that you're seeing right now on the screen, and they break this thing down. First of all, men can take a quiz, women take the quiz. That sort of helps their analysis and their evaluation, how they can help specifically. Look at all the different therapy options. Sarah, have you had a chance to take a look at this site at all?
I sure have. I mean, listen, I love all of our sponsors, but I feel like this is right up my alley. Like the wellness spa. Are you kidding me? And I do want to take that quiz. And if I'm ever back in the area, I mean, ever, of course I will be, but when I'm back in the area of Baltimore, I really need to talk to Ivy and the team because I need to stop by. I mean, there's so many different things that I'm like, ooh, I'd like that. I'd like that. I'd like that. I mean, especially for skin, like I'm 45 years old, right? Like you want to just, and I don't do like, I don't like do Botox or anything like that. Like I just want to stay healthy as naturally for as long as I can. And so like, this is right up my alley. I got to get in there and I definitely want to take this wellness kid quiz. And Bobby, like I've again, especially as you get older, like if your hormones are off, like it can affect both men and women big time. So like just knowing where your levels are at and making sure that they're kind of all in tune. This is a great way to make sure you can do that.
Brenda, if you're out there watching, there she is. Brenda might be watching. She's got a new customer in play, and maybe some others will follow as well. Here's a little perk for our Voltrons out there. They're going to give you 20% off your first testosterone treatment if you mention the Vault when you call 410-202-3863. So a little perk there for our Voltron men out there. You can check out more information at wellnesspluscare.com. You can visit the show notes where all that information is readily available for you. There's also a pinned comment right now in the live chat. And again, we want to thank owner and medical director Brenda Boggs for the support, the belief in what we're building, and hopefully more Voltrons will be walking into her shop there in just a bit in her clinic. All right. Let's get to some super chats before we bring on Jason, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. Douglas H. Brown Sr. got it all started well before the show, and he wrote, Running silent, running deep, PHP. Let's keep promoting 19-1. And he also threw in a 5-gift VAULTRON channel membership. Love. Appreciate you, DHP Senior, for being here. And that running silent, Sarah, seems to be his phrase that he's pushing. We'll see if it catches some steam within the VAULTRON fan base. Linda E is celebrating 3 months of channel membership. And Sarah, after you read this is not all that she had for us.
Okay, she says, finally making a live. I'm feeling hopeful today about this coming Sunday. Go Ravens, #Lamar's year.
Linda E is not only celebrating 3 months of channel membership, but Mom, if you can hear me from upstate New York, I'm eating the meatloaf right now. Linda E drops in $100 super chat. That means it's a red banner. And she writes, not only feeling hopeful, but generous. Aren't you ever?
Yeah.
Love the show. You're the only ones I can listen to after a loss. LOL. Linda, I hope there's no losses in your immediate future, but boy, are we a win. We feel like we're winners today because of you. Thank you so much for being here. Partner, how about $100 super chat?
Oh my goodness. Before I even saw that, I didn't know it was coming down the pike, but when she said finally cut a live, and I'm like, oh, awesome. I'm glad you could be here for a live. And then, feeling even more happy and feeling more grateful that you made a live. Thank you, Linda.
No kidding. The gratitude is never ending. Eric Hill is in the building. He's been a part of that feeling, right? That inner gratitude feeling that we've had for months now. You guys are just incredible support system for this show. Eric writes, it's a gift. It's a 10-channel VAULTRON gift. So, Eric, we appreciate you for being here. You're the man. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Saab Blitz says, should have pulled the Colts and kept the name and records, referring to the Ravens' decision, or ultimately Art Modell's decision to move his Browns to Baltimore. Barry Hayes, Sarah, is a super chat for you.
He said they mad, but heck with it. Let's play the game and win.
Barry's feeling good on Wednesday. You could just tell he's ready to suit up now. Saad Blitz says that pisses me off. They didn't lose their team. They were shuttered for 4 years because they didn't want to build a stadium. They did and got their team back. That's kind of what you noted, Sarah. And here's a second one from Saad for you.
Art owned the team and had every right to keep the name, even if he didn't use it. Should be grateful. They don't know what it's really like to lose their team. I point that out to people in Ohio all the time. I'm like, you guys got to keep your history. You got to keep your colors. You got to keep your name. The Colts went to Indianapolis. It was the Baltimore Colts. And so, reload. It's been 30 years. Reload.
Thanks, Rafike. Rafike Tucker writes, let's assume for the sake of argument that the Ravens did this, knowing it would tweak Browns fans. 2 words. So what? Brown fans needs to grow up. That's what Rafike's calling from the rooftops. D-Rod says, just when I lost motivation to face these Browns. LOL. See, maybe that's what the Ravens are feeling, even though they're never going to go into a game underprepared. You could always use a little bit of that extra motivation, a little bit of bulletin board material. Sarah, Eric is back.
This world is so entitled, Eric says, and it shows. Anyways, what's up, everyone? In case someone tells you they love you, just know that I do. #6K4LJ, #StopThe22 per day, #343.
Appreciate you, Eric. Jason Smith is in the waiting room. We'll get to him in just a second here. Appreciate your patience. We'll rip through these, Jason. Be right with you. Huddle It Up Films breakdown of game tape on Sunday coming in just a few moments. Samuel Moore writes, at least we left your colors, your name, and your titles, unlike the Colts. They took everything from us. See, it's deep-seated on this side too, Sarah, as we've already alluded to throughout the show. DJP is in the building. It's a 10-channel VAULTRON gift. 10 new subscribers have become members thanks to Devin Jean-Pierre, the newest father. Hope you and the missus are doing great, DJP. And Jabo, Sarah, checking in.
Jabo says, cry more, Browns. Want some cheese with that wine?
And Eric says, #343, September 11th, 2001. # a moment of silence. # the VAULTRONs rock. We will absolutely. Today is the 10th. Eric getting out in front of tomorrow, where we will, of course, spend at least a minute remembering for sure. Eric Murphy says, I hope Henry throws Delpit the ball Bobby Boucher style. That's an all-time movie, and I think we all know the clip that he's referring to there. And if Grant Delpit's on the wrong end of catching that, yeah, look out. Ocean, Sarah, for you.
Ocean says, Browns are just mad we have 2 rings before them. LOL.
And PHP, 1 of 3. Why don't you get us started? 1 of 3. This is $19.01. And again, this is in line with the wordplay between he and Douglas H. Brown Sr.
He says, there is so much I want to say about Sunday, but most importantly, don't take the bait. I'm not telling anyone what to do, but this loss is brutal. It exposes our flaws, but it's not our ending. The media wants us to buy into our demise that they created. They dug us a grave and want us to get in it, but I refuse. Ending your Super Bowl hopes in week 1 is crawling into that grave for them. We can get better. We can do better. We will. This quote-unquote rivalry will culminate this season with a trophy sharing the same name as the man who will hold it on Sunday, January 25th, 2026 at 6:45 p.m. #9-0, #no-picks.
Mom, if you can hear me, we just got 3 $20, essentially $19.01 super chats from Ma the Meatloaf, excuse me, from Park Heights Prophet. So Ma the Meatloaf. Thank you, PHP, for those kind words. Dreams is Queon. Bobby missed the collective yesterday. Sucks because I wanted to tell Jimmy that I love his jersey, and only thing missing is his signature. The way I read that made it seem like I missed the collective. I was present, but Queon missed it, and he was bummed. He was bummed too. Jimmy Smith, Sarah, came on the show last night, had a few good things to say.
I listened.
Nice to catch up with him for a little while on the collective, which I'm doing now Tuesday nights, as you probably know by now, with Jeff Zaribek and Cole Jackson. Sorry we missed you there, Dreams, but I'm sure you'll be back next Tuesday. As always, that's when you can catch the next episode of the collective. More super chats, more gifts, more all of that coming up in just a bit. We've got over 2,500 concurrents joining us right now in this moment on a Wednesday leading into week 2 of this NFL season. I'm Bobby Trossett. This is Sarah Ellison. If you could on the way in, please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership. You can go visit thevaultpod.com/shop. Our apparel line continues to be busy. A lot of traffic there getting their merch, which we love now that football season is officially here. And one last shout out to Wellness Plus Care. It's our first episode of being sponsored by them. They are based out of Hunt Valley, and we hope that you'll consider supporting them, because when you do, you support us. Somebody who always supports us joins the show now, and that is our friend Jason Smith from Huddle It Up Films. What's up, brother? I know you're probably licking your wounds along with other members of this fan base, but at the same time, as you know, the players go with the 24-hour rinse, right? And I think we have to as well. So it's time to turn a page to week 2. You have done a great job of looking back at some film that I think will probably be relevant going into week 2, and you looked at each side of the ball. But first, how you doing, my friend? It's great to see you.
Man, I'm doing well. Hey, yes, another game like Sunday. I'm going to the Wellness Center. Going to the Wellness Center for sure. And, real quickly on the Brown stuff, you're talking to someone whose team left right before I turned 8 years old. Had to ask my dad, when are the Colts coming back, Dad? They're not coming back, son. And going through the time, we're watching Peyton Manning break Johnny Unitas's records. The man's got a stadium, statue outside of the stadium. And all that stuff, the first Super Bowl in 2000 really helped with that. And I think that's why Browns fans are salty, because they look at all the success that Ozzie has built, the foundation of over here. And, they don't have that. So, but at least you have your name and your colors, and you don't have to hear about Derrick Henry breaking Jim Brown's record for something, or, Lamar obliterating every quarterback you've ever had's record. So I would like to feel sympathetic, but I really don't, because I went from age 7 to age 20 without a football team over here.
See, these are the folks that we were kind of alluding to, Sarah, earlier on in the show, that like, hey, Baltimore feels the significance of that loss, right? Of that deep-seated emotion, Jason, and you're a perfect example of that. So appreciate you relating in a sense too. We're trying to humanize, I guess, the Cleveland radio host, but at the same time, you got to get over it. You have it.
I mean, it's good content. I believe it gives them something to talk about, because they may lose by 30 points this week. But sorry to throw some shade, but whenever I see that come from the Browns fan base 30 years later, like the Ravens made the schedule, we didn't make the schedule, bro. It's just our first home game. But I guess, hey, good content.
And speaking of content, that's exactly what you've done, Sarah. Go ahead and toss to that.
No, I was just going to say, like, you decided to choose. We kind of let you decide what you wanted to review with this film study. both Bobby and I would think we talked pre-show. We're like, oh, this was not an angle I thought he might go. He just is reviewing Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbomb. Tell us why you went down this route and what do you got for us?
And Jason, on top of that, from a procedural standpoint, being this is our first time through, we can both pause and stop for you. So I'm happy to kind of go on your command. When you want this thing fired off, I'm going to fire it off for you. You'll talk us through as if you're on ESPN and Orlovsky's saying to his producing team, hey, this is when we're pausing. This is when we're going. So I'm on your call. All right.
We will be fine, Bobby. Just follow me as best you can. You know what I mean? If you can tell I need an extra 10 seconds, go for it.
Done.
But yes, you know, the reason I chose this is because if we're going to analyze the fourth quarter and what went wrong, it's not going to fit in a 15-minute bar that we were, you know, working with here. So it was really tough. A lot of that, you know, just my opinion, was soft coverages, soft, just giving Josh Allen a chance to pick us apart 5-7 yards at a time. And if we would have attacked the Bills like we attacked them for the first three quarters, we probably put up 50 points on them. So instead of concentrating on that, I wanted to just take a look at our 2 first-round picks from the 2022 draft, Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbomb. Both made my notes as much as any other Ravens. 6 plays from Kyle in here, 5 plays from Tyler Linderbomb. And, you know, the beauty of this is we can look at a bunch of plays, and it doesn't need a ton of analysis. So, Sarah, Bobby, if you want to jump in, go ahead. The video is relatively short. So, you know, pause here and there for 10, 15, 30 seconds, and we're going to be fine.
Okay. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and fire this thing away. So take us through, Jason, what you've been cutting up for us, beginning with the Bills offense here.
This is pretty self-explanatory. It's the third one you see from the end zone angle, guys. How quick the trigger is. Watch Josh Allen. The ball is going now, and Kyle is already 2 steps in. 64 Osiris Torres tries to cut him off. Cannot, and shoulder and helmet right on the ball. It's hard to even follow the ball at 30% speed. But if you want to look at that one more time, Bobby, and just take it back, again, from this angle, you can see the range of Kyle Hamilton and just how quickly Kyle gets moving, the anticipation here. I love that.
It looked to me before even the snap, he was definitely reading Josh Allen.
Or he can go to Josh Palmer on the crosser, and they're both in his vision. That's the concept of a high-low. So as soon as Kyle sees Shakir stop, he looks over to Palmer's way. I mean, it's immediate. Now, he still keeps his eyes on Josh Allen. That's, I believe, a 4-yard gain, but I love the communication here with Malachi Starks, letting each other know what's going on. And you see Roquan lined up over the left guard. And again, the range, the steps that he takes and eases up on Josh Allen just enough to let him know he's there. Josh cries about it a little bit, but he did hit him. And again, you don't want to know what happens on the next play, but they did stop them to make that a 4th and 3. This play again is really fun to watch.
Yeah,
he was everywhere. The unpredictability, Sarah, and I loved it from the other angle. If you wanted to skip back, Bobby, feel free. But what the heck is he doing? He's like 3 different places at once before the snap, and it's just got to be tough as we watch the end of the previous play. But you just saw him blitz. You know, this might have been probably the next drive. You try to figure out what Kyle, great or poor. It was a really solid performance by Starks coming up and tackling. I thought that he was particularly aggressive, but I like the way that they use these guys. You could see some interchangeable ability, but it didn't take away from Kyle's playmaking skills, which I thought was at an issue at time when he was playing deep so much and taking up Marcus Williams' role. And then I believe this is the last one, the 2-point conversion. Down by we have one more. Okay, no, I went an array of different things, Kyle Hamilton style. Like I said, I think the addition of him and Starks looked wanted, and we just need these guys to hang back and not get beat. Where I feel like if we would have attacked, we would have won that game. Because you see a lot of good coverage on that play. By the way, that last end zone play, Keon Martin's only snap, he was mugging Khalil Shakir through that. Great coverage by Jair. Jair had the first read, was all over him.
That in Malachi Stark's debut, there was nothing that he did, his presence, that took away, given how much they had to use him after. Well, they had to obviously push him back to the traditional back-end safety role after 10 weeks. And thanks to, nothing that you saw aside from the, I'm sure you'd want to be on the jugs machine after that dropped interception from Malachi. But you think he belonged. He showed that as he did in preseason and throughout the summer months.
Nice to see them in week 1 be in sync. so early. So real quick before we flip over to Tyler Linderbomb in the offense, I do have one question for you. The last play, what was the scheme on that? What was Kyle Van Noy doing? Was this like you just mentioned a minute ago that like they were treating like this, the play is called, we're treating like the guys didn't know what they were doing. Like they were like, I don't know, maybe JV players. Those aren't your words, just kind of the way it came across for me. Like what was happening there? Was it like Zach Orr's poor scheme? Was it poor play? Why was Kyle Van Noy in no man's land? Can you just give us a quick thought on that last play of the half?
Sure. Sometimes I think when you study film, it's important to know that situation there at the end of the half. I think the call could be correct, could be a good call. If you keep them out of field goal range, it's a great call. But the guys just didn't look like they had their stuff together on that play.
We're pleased to be joined by friend of the show, Jason Smith from Huddle It Up Films. Would love for you guys to go check out his work, both in the Twitter space and on YouTube as well. And you see his @handle right there. It's Huddle It Up Films. Jason, let's get to part 2 and the final part of your breakdown that you've organized for us today. Again, one last look, essentially, at Sunday night in Buffalo and Tyler Linderbomb as we shift from the defensive side of the ball to the offense.
There, Lamar and Tyler being on the same page, Bobby.
Shall we run that thing back as well? Just
if you want to, if you had any commentary, but I'm on schedule. So a really nice play. Now here's a big play, 2nd and 4, 48-yard gain there.
Farmer tough, man. This brings you back to like Jason Kelsey's breakdown of the 75 yards of travel for a 19-yard net gain on what was one of the most signature Lamar runs that you'll ever see. And he's singling out, right, like Andrew Voorhees running like what did he say, like 15 miles an hour. He's going 15 and a 25. It's a school zone. It is so entertaining to watch Lamar's teammates when he gets into scramble mode and starts doing what we know is next level improv. I mean, it's unbelievable how into the play you have to remain. And as a 300+ pound man, it's got to be easier said than done when you're logging the types of snaps they did on a night where you put up 40+ points.
Right. And we'll see that play coming up soon because Tyler, again, shined on that play. But you're so right, Bobby. When you have a quarterback like Lamar, if people feel that, the players feel that my block could be the all credit to him. That just goes to show you. Here's the play, Bobby. Now, don't look at the right guard on here. Now, watch Tyler pick up everybody in his zone. But you see Tyler still giving him the business, 15 yards behind him.
Look at Voorhees. Look at 72.
I know you told us not to, but like Tyler's out there. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You don't normally see that from offensive linemen. Love the hustle from Voorhees here, as you pointed out earlier. The receivers are blocking. Everybody gets involved. Just an excellent, excellent play. But I thought Tyler stood out on this one. I really did. It's just the little things that you notice that you wouldn't see on TV is why I love digging into tape. Andrews there working. Everybody was working. D-Hop was working. Guys just get involved. And then this is the last play of the day here on the show. But it's Tyler, again, with the awareness to pick off the linebacker in this outside zone scheme. Job one gets taken care of. Voorhees passes down. Sorry,
let's just face it. I mean, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of noise over the last few days, whether it's aimed at the head coach, whether it's aimed at Zach Orr, whether it's aimed at the right-hand side of the offensive line, whether it be special teams. And those areas got to get cleaned up. I think we can all agree on that. But these are two centerpieces, pun intended, from a Linderbomb standpoint, that are going to be here for the foreseeable future. And these guys are playing like all pros.
Yeah. And, like I said, I could have focused on the stuff that everybody's been focused on the last 2 days. It probably wouldn't have, it would have been I would have been overstaying my time here.
Never.
I think it's been talked out too. I mean, you got to move on. You score 40 points. There are a lot of good performances in that game. I thought Ronnie Stanley played really well. Travis Jones and Matabike were menaces out there. The safeties played well. Marlowe had a great game. Roquan misses a tackle, and Nate Wiggins has to hustle down and chase him down at the 2-yard line. So we got aggressive once, and we got burned, and we went soft. It was just like, man, can we play together, complementary football, pedal to the metal, and just, put up 50 on these guys next time.
Yes, 50. Just, foot to throat, never let up. Let it be a controversy the next day that the Ravens are jerks for like running up the score. That's what I want to happen on a Monday morning. But Jason, loved what you grabbed. Like I said, I was surprised, but I'm happy because we have broken down all those other plays. We've already done that. Like we've talked about it ad nauseum. Great to look at some things that other people aren't looking at. That's why we love you. And that's why we're glad that you could come on with us today.
Love Parrot, and we appreciate you for all that and more. Huddle It Up Films is where you can find all of Jason's work. We look forward to doing it again, brother. Thanks again.
Love you guys. Take care. Have a great show. And thanks to everybody in the chat. I see the friendly faces there. I'll be seeing you guys later tonight. Thanks so much, everybody.
Heck yeah. Live stream, Jason Smith tonight, 9:00 Eastern. Awesome stuff. And a fun idea that I think we've had, Sarah, in the last few weeks leading into the season. We're hoping to have on all 22's Derek Coleman coming up in the near future, and perhaps a few other names and faces like Sip Tatali, maybe even Cole Jackson when it's all said and done. These are all busy dudes, busy. A lot of these guys have lives that are outside of the content game, which I know you and I can appreciate.
216. It might be up in Cleveland because I'm down in Columbus.
Oh, you know it is. Yep, Cleveland,
Yep,
Ohio.
it's Cleveland. There you go.
Yep. Surrounding suburbs, Lakewood, Parma, Euclid, you name it. All right. Good luck out there, David. Good luck. Enemy territory. Heather
I'm
McCubbin.
still a 410, by the way. I haven't moved on from 410. My phone number.
Oh, your
Still
phone number. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. David, we just learned with the 216. That's Cleveland. Heather McCubbins celebrating 5 months of channel membership. She says, love my Vault family and the feeling's mutual. We love you, Heather. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday. Samuel Moore, Sarah.
He says, salty, you ain't never lied.
And Sod Blitz.
Jay Kelsey was going crazy over 64 and 72's blocks. He sure was. We need to bring in the audio of that just for fun. We can't bring on the whole clip because it's got so much of the TV copy of the game, but we'll do that tomorrow. We'll bring in Jason Kelsey going crazy when Lamar Jackson ran his like quote unquote. One time there was a place on the business side of the facility that was like Cube World, right? Just a bunch of cubicles. And one time he came down on a Friday after lunch for whatever reason he had to come down for, and the Ravens won. So for the rest of the year, at that exact same time on Friday, he'd come down and say hello to everybody in Cube World every week.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's no different than the guys that you're going to see, like the Matt Patricias and the Brian Flores and all these guys that'll have their beards going right for months on end. Like,
yeah.
Maybe that's a part of it as well, but appreciate it. And we will be looking forward to that, hitting the timelines. Guys, thank you for being with us on this Wednesday. If you could on the way in, all 3,000 concurrents that are with us right now, please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member, maybe gift-giving membership. You want to support the channel? Go visit thevaultpod.com/shop. Get yourself a piece of merch on our new apparel line that dropped back in July. And we do want to say thank you to Wellness Plus Care for sponsoring our episode. It's going to be a 10-week campaign. We're looking forward to that. And we appreciate everybody for being with us on this Wednesday. Partner DeAndre Hopkins turned back the clock with a highlight reel catch that we'll be watching one day.
Tell him do it again if we play him again. Did he push off? Tell him to do it again if we play him again.
So the follow-up there, Sarah, was did he push off? And let me be clear here. Matt Perino is a Bills beat reporter for Syracuse.com. So just to be clear on that, at Matt Perino is where we grabbed the video from. The follow-up was never answered. When he gave him the answer that he did, they were like, okay, well, let me pivot here. Did he push off? Is that why Christian is, I'm just speaking from like the beat reporter's mind, maybe in terms of what prompted the follow-up. But when he says, tell him to do it again if we play them again, that almost suggests that like he was on the winning end or whatever. Like, it's just a strange flex that I don't think maybe came out the way that he intended it for. It's very strange.
It was very strange because, well, first of all, I always try to lead with a little bit of grace, but Bobby, this is definitely Salty Wednesday. The way I took it, I'm like, nah, DeAndre in one-handed touchdown catches is no fluke. That's who he is. That's what he does. Yeah,
let's run it back once more.
Hopkins touch that. Like that's a perfect throw, a ridiculous catch. I mean,
You're right. He's yucking it up, right?
And then look at the way Christian's head steps up. He goes, "It was a perfect flow, or it was a perfect throw and a ridiculous catch." And Christian's like, "Bro, what are we doing here?" Watch his head snap back from putting on his hat.
A ridiculous catch. I mean, what's your reaction to see him come down with that one?
Takes his glasses off.
Tell him do it again if we play him again. You push off. Tell him do it again if we play him again.
He's so mad. He's so mad.
He could not stand. I think your interpretation is so spot on. He was absolutely livid that was asked that way.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not like Dan Orlovsky on ESPN breaking it down. Dude, you're asking the guy who just got like cooked. He got cooked. And he's like asking the guy as if he's, like a Ravens fan, really.
Yeah, man, you just to reiterate, one of the most electrifying catches, acrobatic wise, just moment wise, right? Everybody's primetime audience that you will ever see from a Ravens pass catcher. It was electric. And Steve Smith Sr. absolutely agrees with that sentiment.
Catch?
Ridiculous. Little chicken wing? Yeah.
It's like he didn't even care he had one hand. He's like, I'm cool with it. It's fine. Triple X gloves.
Man, I was watching Hop. I remember I went to Hop's pro day. Never would have thought he'd have the career he had.
Right.
Just because you didn't see it in the workout. You did not see what you see today. You didn't go, man, 10 plus years, he'd be snagging footballs all day, one hand, two hands, inbounds, outbounds. Doesn't matter. Never saw that. If you did, stop lying. Because if you did, you would have drafted him.
Steve Smith Sr.'s YouTube channel there with James Palmer, his co-host. I found that to be interesting. Obviously, one, he was like a little chicken wing and giving some love to the catch itself and just the nature of it, the technique, but also that there were a lot of people, Sarah, that didn't necessarily bet on or draft DeAndre Hopkins thinking that he would be in this league for 10 plus years, a bona fide future Hall of Famer, somebody that has withstood the test of time. He's still going on the other side of 30. And while he's not going to be that high volume guy this year, clearly he showed and reminded everybody on Sunday night, he's still capable of being that dude.
Well, and I had to re-look back up. So he was a first-round draft pick, but he was 27th overall.
Yeah.
So 26 teams passed over him. Was the Ravens one of them? I don't know. Remember when who did the Ravens get in 2013? Now this is making me very curious. Ravens draft 2013. But yeah, so what Steve is saying is so interesting. Like, I find this so to be true because, as you know, Bobby, I coach basketball during the winter. Oh my gosh, the Ravens got Matt Elam that year, but it was number 32. It was number 32. DeAndre was already off the board. And then that was a bad draft. It was one of the worst drafts the Ravens have had. But no, so like we always we go and evaluate these kids first. And I had to ask them to put in like at least like a 3-on-3 drill, because we would do these like skill tests. And like, you're like, wow, look at this kid dribble, or look at this kid, he can shoot, or look at his passes and all this and that. And then they get in the game and they're like not aggressive at all. They're not gamers. It's like, dang, you got all these skills, but you don't know how to play it to the game. And so like, there's these other kids that are just like, they don't seem to have all the skills in the world or all the talent in the world. And maybe that's what Steve is saying. I went to his pro day and I never would have thought he'd become who he's become. And it's like, there's some people that just get in the game and they know how to play. They know how to use leverage. They know how to do, they know how to take advantage of certain situations, or they just have like these instincts. And it's just like, not everybody is a gamer. DeAndre Hopkins, even at his age, is still a gamer. And that's why, with the game on the line at 3rd and 9, Lamar Jackson couldn't care less that he's broadcasting to the Bills defense. I'm going to go walk all the way over here and talk to DeAndre Hopkins. I'm thinking, wait, is this like a decoy? Like, what's going on here? Because everybody in the Bills is going to know that you're going to DeAndre Hopkins now. And it's too bad that DeAndre he didn't get all the way to the sticks, because everybody knew Lamar was going to go to him after that little conference on the field, and he caught it anyway. We just needed to get to the sticks. But like, to your point, like, yes, he's not the prime DeAndre Hopkins that we got to watch from afar, but my goodness, he will come up big in big moments, and Lamar Jackson knows it and broadcasted it to everybody.
Yeah, and his impact, much like OBJ's, right, spans beyond what he does on the field for them. And that's something that Agent 89 spoke about as well.
Joining that room helps Zay. A guy
Absolutely.
that's seen everything in 13 years and
Yes.
knows everything about the little tricks of the trade. I think that's one of Hop's secret talents is the little push-offs, the little moves, hands, all that stuff, sideline work that he's outstanding at. How does that help the receiver room and probably Zay a lot?
It helps the receiver room in two ways. You can hear the why behind why D-Hop is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
See, not everybody gets that, right? Not everybody gets the opportunity to hear what someone is thinking and why they did this. And then the other part is he gets to watch D-Hop too and then go back and ask him about it.
Yeah.
Right? We watch film, but we don't get a chance, or we do, but some people don't get the chance to call up a guy and say, hey, man, walk me through this.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? And Zay has an opportunity. Eats lunch. They get treatment in a training room.
Mm-hmm.
They do walkthrough together. They're sitting in meeting rooms, team meeting rooms, offensive meeting rooms, and then position meeting rooms. They're around each other. Somewhere in the locker room, they're sitting there. It's the exposure.
Game day, Steve. Like, there's
Game
enough
day.
times I know Hop, that he'll take the pad and go to Zay and go, look, you see this? You see this?
See,
That's
thank
in
you.
between series.
Man, that is what veteran players do. Now, some you may see because the camera catches it, but every veteran has a good and bad presence because it's a young player and he's watching an older player and he doesn't understand sometimes why that older player is doing that. Or why does the old vet get a day off every Thursday? Because he's run more miles than you. That's why.
Zay Flowers leads the league in receiving yards through 1 week. And I thought some good perspective there, obviously, from a guy who knows the position better than most, Steve Smith Sr.
Yeah, well, and like that brings us to, let me see if I have this here. No, that was Jason Kelsey we talked about. There's so many things. You said Zay Flowers is leading the league. How about all these things that the Ravens offense is leading the league? And I can't believe they got an L for it. Rushing offense, number 1 in the league and with 8.2 yards per attempt. Passing offense, number 1 in the league with 9.2 yards per attempt. Rushing defense, number 14. Passing defense, number 27. So it lets you know everything. But look at that offensive side. You want to know what else is going on the offensive side? How about Derrick Henry already? Man, that stupid fumble is ruining everything, right? Like the most rushing yards in the NFL since 2016 Henry, since 17 Henry, since 18 Henry, since 19 Henry, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 after week 1. Henry has 169 yards, leads the NFL in rushing yards. It's like all of it wasted. All of it wasted. All these great performances. All for naught.
For now. Yeah, for now. Through 1 week. Shall we get to some quick hits?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, go ahead and take this one.
So yeah, Cole Jackson put this out the other night. I was wondering, remember I asked, I think after the game, I was like, I'm really curious what Mike Green's pass rush win rate was. Well, Cole Jackson looked it up for me. 15.4% pass rush win rate, which ranked 4th among rookies, or at least with those that had at least 10 pass rush snaps in week 1. That's ahead of guys like Abdul Carter, Jalen Walker, Donovan Ezeraku, Michael Williams, and Jack Sawyer. So Aeneas Peebles, he ranked number 2. Along his position group. So Cole's saying, hey, let's be patient with these guys. And that's fine. But we definitely need, Bobby, more of a pass rush, because here's what's crazy. Look, Nnamdi Madubuike, he had 5 pressures and a sack. So he had a 15.2% pressure rate. That was number 2 in the league. So if Mike Green is looking good among rookies, Nnamdi Madubuike looking good league-wide, like, ooh, there's other places then. There should be openings for Odafe Owe. There should be openings for Kyle Van Noy. There should have been, and I know that Josh Allen is one of the best. He's similar to Lamar, even though they do it in a different way, is that he can escape the pocket. And John Harbaugh talked about the the rush lanes and contain and all that kind of stuff. And so I have a feeling, Bobby, if these numbers are looking as good as they are, and you've got Joe Flacco as a statue quarterback, I'm hoping we can see these numbers and these pass rush win rates, all that kind of stuff. I hope it translates to a lot more sacks against the former Ravens quarterback.
While we're on the topic of pass rush too, Josina Anderson and others tweeting out earlier this morning that Jadeveon Clowney is visiting the Dallas Cowboys. And obviously they just lost a pretty darn good pass rusher in Micah Parsons in his prime. So we'll see if Jadeveon ends up signing on that visit, or should he continue to be patient and wait for the right opportunity? Because I don't think you're winning in Dallas. I don't think. Here's the newest practice squad wide receiver, Cornelius Johnson. Jeff Zarebek and others were on top of this yesterday. He is a practice squad wide receiver. Malik Ham was released at the outside linebacker position to make room for Johnson. He played his college football at Michigan under Jim Harbaugh, which is probably why Jim used a 7th-round pick on him in his first draft with the Chargers back in 2024. He was released by the Green Bay Packers this summer as part of final roster cuts. So new practice squad wide receiver for the Ravens. And you brought this one in on Jalen Carter, who looks like he's already served his suspension. Did Sarah freeze on me? Maybe she did. Am I the one frozen? Who's frozen? Jalen Carter has been fined over $57,000, $57,222 to be exact, for spitting on Dak Prescott. Yes, Dak spat in his direction prior, but then Jalen took it to a new level of retaliation and really just kind of disgusting levels by actually spitting on Dak. Anyway, the NFL says the game he was ejected for, which he didn't even play in, will serve as his 1-game suspension. And the quote that Schefter tweeted out was that after talking to the Eagles, the NFL, and the NFL Players Association, Jalen has decided not to appeal and focus on the Chiefs game. That was from Drew Rosenhaus, who represents, again, Jalen Carter. Those are the end of Quick Hits. And this is what I have for you in terms of Super Chats before we get up on out of here. Let's see. We left off with God King, and we picked things back up with Park Heights Prophet. He says, I got you the Friday before week 3. Hype it up and tailgate logistics, LOL, meaning Detroit, Baltimore. But I do need to do a Buffalo tailgate breakdown and rewind, LOL. PHP making his case to come back on the show, even though some of you superstitious folks out there might be thinking otherwise. And PHP again says, Buffalo is starting to get that Cincinnati vibe to them. They're bums believing that they are good. Let me in the stream now. I got stuff to say. Anthony, fired up on this Wednesday. Sod Blitz says, what? He going to horse collar him like he did Bait? I think referring to the DeAndre Hopkins content from a few moments ago. And God King says, if they rush Lamar, why are we so afraid to rush? Rush who? Josh? Very vanilla and base level defense in the fourth quarter, as we know, which allowed the Bills to put up 28 second half points. But that is in the past. It's in the rear view mirror. And of course, Cleveland is now what the page gets turned to by everybody in the Ravens organization, because it's week 2 and it's the home opener on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Ravens and Browns, a 30th anniversary celebration in store for everyone going out there. Ozzie Newsome, the great Raven, the great former NFLer, the great former Brown himself, who's had 2 Hall of Fame careers in one lifetime, will be the Ravens legend of the game, and there'll be so much to celebrate. Sarah and I, of course, will have our post-game coverage coming up around 5 o'clock on Sunday. And then, of course, I'll have my pregame coverage at a time to be determined. I'll have a time for you coming up on Friday and let you know what that is accordingly. Our patrons are J Fresh 0824 and Stephen M. Thank you both for believing in what we're building. We appreciate you very much for all the continued support that you give us and for being a part of our Patreon community. If you guys are interested in doing the same, you can visit patreon.com/Ravens Vault podcast to learn more about what we're offering here inside the channel on that side of things.
Sorry, internet completely went out. I'm on my hotspot on my phone. It's just gone. I need to look into a new internet provider because this has been happening way too frequently, just luckily not during showtime.
No worries.
Yeah.
I think we should, Bobby, probably just push those quick hits, being that you got some stuff going on over there, and I think time is of the essence. You all right with that?
Yeah, well, do you just want to do quick injury rehab updates? Just because
Sure.
it's okay. So real quick, just a couple guys posted on Instagram, including our Darius Washington, who tore his Achilles back in May, is at the anti-gravity treadmill. So not full, treadmill, but certainly it's just been a couple months. Good to see him moving like that. And then meanwhile, we are seeing more and more signs of Isaiah Likely coming back here. We're going to see him doing some lateral kind of movement, some drills there that's testing that foot, moving pretty decently. And I think obviously the offense didn't have any problem scoring last weekend, but adding somebody like Isaiah Likely will just make them a bigger threat.
No doubt. Yeah. And again, by them not putting him on injured reserve to start the season, certainly a suggestion that they think he's going to be back at some point within the first 4 weeks. So we'll have to watch that. I will say some beat reporter notes here before we jump from our guy, Cordell Woodland, Brian Wacker, and others, noting that Nnamdi Madubuike and Patrick Ricard are the two guys that they do not see practicing. So Isaiah Likely is off to the side field yet again, Sarah, working. No Madubuike, who's a new one. We'll have to wait for the Wednesday injury report at 4 Eastern. And Pat Ricard continues to be sidelined with what we know is a soft tissue related to his calf muscle. So
it's really too bad not to see Pat. Like for him to play this week, because he's been gone for so long, you'd like to see him back on a Wednesday. And the same for Isaiah Likely. You'd like to see him back on a Wednesday to really have a chance to play. It doesn't mean the door is closed, but it's not a good sign. Madubuike, maybe it's like a day off or whatnot. So, he hasn't been missing for as long. But yeah, not a great sign for either Ricard or Likely.
More to come on all those things, including a real turn to the page, which we did today to week 2 and the Cleveland Browns. A special thank you to Wellness Plus Care, our newest brand sponsor, newest sponsorship opportunity here in season. I just want to say thanks to Brenda Boggs and Ivy and their entire team there. I know Sarah and I are really thrilled to be with them. They're based in the Hunt Valley area. And again, the VAULTRON perk that's out there for you guys, if you're interested, you get 20% off your first testosterone treatment with them. All you got to do, mention the Vault podcast when you call 410-202-3863. All that information can be found in a couple different places. Pinned comment for our live audience, show notes for both the audio and after live audience. All right.
I think I saw one more super chat come in for an orange banner.
Ooh, thank you
Definitely
very much.
want to give love there to Chef Trez.
Thank you very much. Chef Trez, man, he's been super busy on all 3 channels, really. The Collective, The Vault, and Bobby Baltimore. We love the guy. Chef writes, I give him a hard time, though. Baltimore Ravens recipe. 1, lose a game where we're dominating. 2, we destroy our next opponent. 3, go on a win streak. 4, then like a thief in the night, our team falls apart. 5, repeat, head chef, John Harbaugh.
It does feel very familiar, which is why I hear a lot of people, and I usually say this too. I'm like, guys, it's week 1. I usually always say that, but like, it's not that it was week 1. Like nobody believes the season is lost. It's more like, oh crap, this is going to happen in the playoffs again.
I think
it's going to happen against these big teams. Yeah.
I think that's fair because we all have memories for the most part. Thanks to everybody for spending some time with us on this Wednesday.
This salty Wednesday.
Right. No question. Covered a lot of ground. Special thanks to, that's right, Chef Sarah getting after it. S-Dot in the kitchen, marinating, salting, you name it. Thank you guys for spending some time with us. Jason Smith was fantastic. We're looking forward to future film breakdown Tuesdays and or Wednesdays. So be on the lookout for a new wrinkle, if you will, inside the vault. Thanks to Wellness Plus Care. Thanks to Gundry yesterday for supporting the channel, supporting the show, and everything that we're doing here. Thanks to you, partner, for everything going into this show. It was a jam-packed one. 90-plus minutes of content. It continues to be an onslaught of football items that we have to dive into, and we'll continue to do that as we get ready for week 2. It's Ravens and Browns. Sarah and I will be back with you here inside the vault coming up on Thursday. If you could on the way out, like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell a friend, tell a group chat, tell a Facebook group, you name it. we want to continue to promote this show as much as we possibly can. Daily, year-round Ravens content is what we give you. 12 noon Eastern tomorrow. That's Thursday, September 11th. Thank you guys for being with us. And as always, Vaultrons, we appreciate you. Thanks for spending some time with us here inside the Vault. Talk soon.